For some time on the broadcast, I've been talking about an experience that I had back when we were teaching through the Gospel of John. And I came to the third chapter of the Gospel of John, and there was the story of Nicodemus coming to Jesus at night, saying to him, "Good Master, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus said these profound words. He said, "You must be born again." And as I looked at that and I allowed my spirit to begin to ponder on that, I said, "Now, exactly what is this that Jesus is referring to?" And if I were to ask most people, they'd say, "Well, Pastor, that's when a person gets saved." And I say, "Well, that's true. That's right. But that's an external thing. What I want to know is what happens in the internal, in the spiritual realm." And so as I began to think about this and to explore this, I said, it's got to be a time when a person is able to open themselves up to the reality of spirituality. In other words, that they become aware that they are spiritual themselves and that there is spiritual activity that's going on all around them. And I believe that when this happens to somebody, it just becomes a thing that opens up a whole new realm to them. And over a process of time, they begin to see things different than they saw it before, because now they are aware of their spiritual existence, and so they're seeing things from a spiritual perspective. And when that begins to happen, you begin to change. And every time that I say that, I think about these words to this old song that says, "The things of earth grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace." So the transformation takes place. A person goes from a life that is in darkness in the carnal realm to the reality that they're spiritual and that they can embrace spiritual things. That in itself starts taking care of the behavior things. Most of the time in our preaching and teaching, we spend a lot of time dealing with the carnal and the things that we do and the things that displease the Lord. Well, the reality of it is that if we dwell and begin to minister to the spiritual man, to the enlightenment of the spiritual man, to a place where we become spiritually more aware, then God begins to clean all this up, because He gives us an awareness of things, and He makes us realize that through things that we do to our bodies, we're destroying ourselves. But all this becomes aware to us as we become more spiritually attuned. So, I've got this in my mind, and God is building the concepts with me. I go to the book of Ephesians. And last week on the broadcast, we talked about the first 13 verses. And now today, we begin with this basic concept. When you trust it. That's what he says. Verse 13 of Ephesians chapter 1. And we'll discuss it throughout the remainder of this week. This is Pastor Jack King with the Gospel on the radio broadcast.